You're watching Good Day Orlando on Fox 35.
Plus, buying and selling, we'll tell you just how much house you can really afford. Coming up on Good Day Orlando. On the Money Watch today, summer is a popular time for buying and selling homes. The real estate market gets hot in the summer from folks who now have enough money for a deposit thanks to their tax refund, to parents who want to relocate in time for their kids to start a new school in the fall. There are a lot of motivations. But how do you know exactly how much house you can really afford? Andrey Bustamante of Bustamante Real Estate is here to talk all about it. Good morning, Andrey. Good to see you, my man.
Glad to be here.
All right, so the first thing you say you have to do is know the numbers, and that really means your income, right? So we have a formula we want to put up. It gets a little mathematical.
Yeah, it's a little tricky, but first and foremost, what you want to do is you want to calculate your monthly household income. Let's just say if it's $10,000 a month, you want to factor in 28% of that. Lenders nowadays are very conservative, and they don't want to see that initial front-end number be more than 28%.
All right, so let's say that you and your partner each make $60,000.
Correct.
You're going to add that together to come up with 120. Then you are going to divide that by 12.
Yep.
And then multiply it by 2.8. And that is going to put you at $2,800 a month is what you can afford. Now, important to remember here, I think a lot of people might see that $2,800 and say, oh, okay, I can get a $2,800 mortgage. But that's not true, right? You need to factor in other things.
There's a lot of things to factor in, Tom. You want to factor in principal, interest, taxes, insurance, HOA, if there's an HOA, which most properties have.
I think a lot of people forget about that until they get there.
Absolutely. Up until the very end, right? Those are surprises. And then you also want to calculate, if you're not putting 20% down, you're gonna have what's called a primary mortgage insurance, that PMI.
All right, so great guidelines. The math really isn't all that hard, especially a calculator like everybody does these days. What are some other factors that people need to think about when they're trying to figure out how much house they can afford?
So the 28% is the initial front-end number when you're calculating the debt-to-income ratio.
Okay.
But then you're also going to have your back-end number, which lenders like to keep that number at about 36% or less, conservatively speaking. Now, that would include credit card payments, car payments, and student loans. So all factored in, including your housing expense, should not be more than 36% of your income.
So basically, you need to look at the rest of your budget and figure that all in there.
You need to have a budget, absolutely.
Okay. What are some of the big mistakes people make right now when they're trying to figure all this out?
They don't plan. They don't plan ahead of time. What most people should be doing, if you're going to buy a house in the next 6 to 12 months, you should analyze your credit, see where you're at, and if you can improve your credit, say if it's a 640 compared to a 740 or 760, that increase, it's going to be a big difference in your interest rate. So it's going to weigh down your debt to income if you have a lower credit score. You also want to factor in the taxes that the property is paying. I mean, we've analyzed properties side by side. One's paying $2,000 a month, the other one's paying $4,000. You also want to factor in, is there an HOA? A lot of times, especially with condominiums, that HOA is going to weigh you down tremendously and just kick out the debt to income off the charts, and then you're not going to be able to buy that house.
All right, it's a lot to think about, but important stuff to remember if you're in the market.
Absolutely.
Andrey, thanks. Good to see you.
Same here. Thank you.
It is 9:51.